Good morning, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to Villa AM here on For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. And I'm going to get into it straight away because today I want to give you some news, all in your bite-sized version, your breakfast version, under 8 minutes, as best we can. And also I want to take through another case study with regards to book value, but don't worry, it's not too onerous from a mathematics point of view. So if you are listening or if you are watching on YouTube, you will be able to follow this one. I promise. But firstly, let's get into the news, and let's start with good news, and really, really good news, because Morgan Rogers has won the PFA Young Player of the Year. Aston Villa's 23-year-old forward Morgan Rogers has been crowned the 2024-2025 PFA Young Player of the Year. And he's been recognised for an impressive campaign with Aston Villa, obviously making his international debut and being a mainstay in Unai Emery's team, and absolutely deserves all the plaudits he gets. So really, really well done there, Morgan Rogers. You're a credit to the club, and long may you continue to be an Aston Villa player as well. Also, in some other news that is non-transfer related, Aston Villa's hearing with regards to the planning application for the North Stand is set to go ahead in the coming weeks. The Athletic have seen the application and are confident that this will be granted and will go through. So once again, the infrastructural upgrades at Villa Park hopefully will be able to progress at speed then once more. Now, getting into the transfer business that Aston Villa have or may or may not be doing over the coming days, but some stuff is absolutely concrete. And the first piece is somebody leaving the club, and that's Leander Dendoncker has had his transfer confirmed to Real Oviedo, with Aston Villa having sold midfielder Leander Dendoncker to Spanish club Real Oviedo for an undisclosed fee, which we know to be probably £0 and 0 pence. But getting his wages off the books is quite important, I think, for the club as well. So I wish him all the best at the club. Be playing alongside the effervescent and evergreen Santi Cazorla in midfield, and also with Eric Bailly as well, who has signed for Real Oviedo or is coming close to doing that as well. So best of luck to them in La Liga for the rest of the year. Also, Leon Bailey, his loan deal to Roma is more or less rubber stamped at the moment. The winger has arrived in Rome ahead of a season-long loan for Roma, which will obviously help Villa comply with PSR and UEFA financial fair play rules based on the loan fee and his wage savings as well. And last but not least is Alex Moreno is close to his Girona move. Matteo Moretto has said that Girona are really advanced and very close in negotiations to sign Aston Villa's left back Alex Moreno, with that deal reportedly be ready to be done any day now, which is another person that we will look at actually from the book value point of view. And obviously, when we don't know what fees will be involved there, we will take a look at how that might have affected Aston Villa's profit or loss from transfers as well. But it's not all been players out. Today, there's been news of players in. And the first one was that a bid has been rejected for JD Canvot, I don't know how you pronounce it. Toulouse have turned down a bid from Aston Villa for midfielder/defender JD Canvot, with the French club seeking around 20 million euros, and Villa are expected to submit a new proposal. And I am expecting that Villa will get their man prior to the end of the transfer window here in JD Canvot, and we will then know how to pronounce his name properly. And also, Aston Villa are interested in signing Nicholas Jackson and exploring a move for the Chelsea striker before the end of the transfer window. They're pushing for a loan with an obligation to buy, but they're also insisting this has nothing to do with Ollie Watkins being sold or leaving the club. So extra firepower and extra defensive power seem to be the order of the day for this Aston Villa team. And let's see what happens on those transfers in the coming days or weeks before the end of the transfer window as well. And lastly, very, very lastly, from the news point of view, is new pre-match jerseys and where have been released, and you can find those on avfc.co.uk. So I wanted to come here and I wanted to chat to you guys as well about a little case study or a little piece that I've been doing. And I need to preface this as saying, I don't know if this is 100% correct. So any of you financial whiz kids out there, please let me know if this makes any sense to you guys here, and I will make it. Where are we gone to? Oh no, gone the wrong way. There we go. So let's see if this makes any sense to you guys there, and let me know if it does. So what I've tried to do here is I've tried to see what the cost per player would be for each of our players over the course of this year, and if we were to sell them, what for fees, what kind of profits and losses would be made by Aston Villa Football Club. What I found really interesting here is obviously when you're taking into account transfers. So to let everybody know that the profit from selling a player is calculated as the transfer fee received minus the player's remaining book value, also known as the net book value or the carrying amount. And that book value represents the unamortized portion of the original acquisition cost of the player's registration rights spread over the contract length. So I thought that was very important because once again we have to move away from thinking that £40 million earned for X player is actually £40 million profit. It is not. It's the profit minus the length of book value that person has left. And then we'll take Amadou Onana for instance here. So Amadou Onana essentially will like the costs to Aston Villa of his book value is still 40 million euros. So if you sell Amadou Onana, you need to cover that 40 million euros in some way, shape, or form. So when you see it comes into effect, I suppose, really when you look at a Jacob Ramsey there, he has a zero book value. And the interesting part from this is we've received a 39 million euro fee for him. Also, we would have had his wages for the year would have been 3.64 million euros for. These are all pounds, actually. Apologies. There's euro signs there just because this is the way my city spreadsheet was set up. But these are all pounds. So essentially, what the actual saving on Jacob Ramsey over the course of the year would amount to £42.64 million here that Aston Villa would have saved if on Jacob Ramsey. As he has not been will not be at the club for this coming year as well. So any financial whiz kids out there, please let me know if that is correct. So these are my tallies up here. So if we want to take a look at Leon Bailey specifically here, and we take a look at what Leon Bailey costs Aston Villa, or what the profit and loss of his loan to Aston Villa is this year. So Aston Villa received a fee of £3 million for Leon Bailey. Or in this instance, I think it was actually 3 million euros. He also has a wage cost of 6.24 million per year, but his book value, his remaining book value, is 5.851 million still left on his loan, on his book value. So when we take into account his loan value of 3 million plus the wages we would save in him, we would then deduct the book value and we would have a profit. We have a profit from that loan of Leon Bailey leaving the club of 3.388 million pounds for that. Leander Dendoncker as well. We know we received no fee for Leander Dendoncker, but Leander Dendoncker still had a 3.25 million book value remaining on his contract with Aston Villa. Now he was earning 4.68 million euros per year, or pounds per year. So what we did here in this instance is savings on wages minus the book value remaining would mean that by my crude calculations, if this is correct, we would have made a 1.43 million pound profit on Leander Dendoncker on the balance sheet at the end of the year, and Leander Dendoncker not being here by getting his wages off the wage bill as well. Now, obviously, as well, guys, there are rumors, as I said, about Alex Moreno. Now, we don't know what the fee is for Alex Moreno at the moment, but let's say Aston Villa decided to let him go on a free transfer to Girona. That's unlikely to be the case, and the reason being this is why. If we want to calculate, I suppose, realistically, what the lowest potential fee that Aston Villa could accept for Alex Moreno would be, let's try and do that here. And that's what I wanted to do. So if we set our fee at 0, and if we take the calculator here, which will calculate up what the profit and loss is, because of Alex Moreno's book value of 3.603 million pounds still costing Aston Villa, and we then deduct his wages, which are rumored to be 35,000 per week, which equates to 1.8 million per year, we would see that Aston Villa would need to make a minimum of 1.8 million in transfers, a transfer fee for Alex Moreno for this to break even. So Alex Moreno's, I expect Alex Moreno to be sold for no less than £3 million. And the reason for that is I think Aston Villa's base market value on somebody like that, or making a profit on somebody like an Alex Moreno, would be to make at least 1 million to 1.2 to 1.5 million on each player. And the reason I'm taking that into account is they did that with Leander Dendoncker. they accepted no transfer fee for Leander Dendoncker to get his wages off the books. And if by my calculations that saves Aston Villa 1.4 million, well then I would expect them to have something commensurate as well for players like Alex Moreno too. So if my calculations are right, I would be expecting Alex Moreno to go for to be sold for no less than 1.8 million. First, Aston Villa to break even, but I would expect Aston Villa to want at least 3 million for him to book some profit for him based on that sale as well in this year's accounts. So hopefully this little spreadsheet makes a small bit of sense. If it's actually factually incorrect, this spreadsheet, 'cause we're all trying to learn together. If you are into finances and everything, please let me know. I will come on tomorrow and I will apologize, or I will enact any of the changes that you guys would like me to do based on that. But hopefully this made sense. If you are watching on YouTube, be able to see what the remaining book values are, what the wage costs are, and then if we receive any fees, we should be able to calculate then what profit and loss is made on those transfers then towards the course of the rest of this transfer window. So very much so over the 8 minutes. I do apologize. We will see you again tomorrow. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up